And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're looking at Pirates of the Spanish Main. Now, Pirates of the Spanish Main is a card game from Wizkids. If you remember, a while ago they made Pirates of the Spanish Main, the constructible card game. Basically, it had these thick cards and you punched them out and you made little ships, and it was actually pretty cool, even though it did introduce the tiniest dice in the world that were not very functional. But the game itself was fine. You know, you move ships around on the board and attack each other. Interesting idea. That was the old Wizkids. This is the new Wizkids, the better and redone Wizkids. The company has had a really overchange, and this game really has the only thing in common with that game is the theme, which is essentially Pirates of the Caribbean ripoff. But that's okay. I mean, there's not enough good pirate games out there. But is this game any good? I have to say, I got a card game for Pirates of the Caribbean, or Pirates of the Spanish Main. Wasn't like, I don't know about it. Is it good? Let's look. At the beginning of the game, you're going to put out these ships here in the middle of the table. Each ship is, here you see a cargo hold, which has part of it bent up so that you can move that ship, and then you randomly will place the different pirates. There's different pirates from different countries. For example, you have Captain Blackheart, Jack Hawkins, and Amos Alehound. They're English pirates. And then you have Bloody Jake, Blue Betty, Scarlet Cat, Grim the Savage, Captain Barbarossa, etc. Each of these pirates simply is distinguished by their name, their country flag, and whatever ship they have. And then they have another side to them, which shows what happens when their ship is damaged, which is kind of gory. I mean, it's not really gory, but it's certainly bloody. And what players are trying to do is they're trying to accumulate the most fame. And fame is done by collecting adventure cards. And so the way the game begins is there's an adventure card that is turned face up here. For example, this says Kraken, and it tells you a little bit about the Kraken. And then it says the ships in spaces 8, 6, and 4 are damaged. So on a player's turn, they have, before the game starts, I should say, each player is given a certain amount of pirates that they are, depending on how many players are in the game. And these are the pirates that you control. Now, this is secret. No one else knows who you are, but you know which pirates are yours. Now, at the beginning of your turn, you have a few actions. The biggest action that will be taken will be using one of these 3 cards here. And you can see the Dutch Advance, Full Speed Ahead, or Temporary Alliance, and playing it. So let's say, for example, I play the Full Speed Ahead. That says, move any one ship 6 spaces forward. I say, all right. And so let's say I realize that Bloody Jake, he's my pirate. I don't want to see him get injured, since I know that the 4th, 6th, and 8th positions are going to be damaged. This is 4, this is 6, and this is 8. Bloody Jake is mine. I don't want him damaged, so I move him 6 spaces forward. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and move him up here. And somebody mentioned, and I think it would have been a good idea, had they included some kind of number counters to put here, just so you could instantly reference who was in which position. I mean, yes, you can count 1 through 9, but that would have been a nice thing to add to the game, and I might add some custom cards for that purpose. Well, now, anyhow, after you're done moving, that card that you've taken is discarded, and another move card will be put in its place. And in this case, it's one that damages 1 ship. Here, you can move 2 adjacent ships. Here, all the Dutch ships move 2 spaces forward. And so anyway, you're moving ships. And after you move the ships, then you will resolve whatever this is. So in this case, it's the Kraken that damages ships in 8, 6, and 4. Now, these ships that are damaged, you can't be damaged again. But when you're damaged, you can't collect any fame either till you're undamaged. Now, one of the options that a player has, instead of taking one of these cards, they can pick one of the ships, they can say all the ships that are damaged are undamaged. So they can simply fix all the ships on their turn. Now, when do you do that? That's up to you, because the third action a player can take, besides pass, which is an action I've never seen anyone do, but the third action that you can take is you can accuse another player and say, Bob, I know you are Grim the Savage. Bob says, I am Grim the Savage. So he reveals that he's Grim the Savage, puts it in front of him, and any fame that Grim the Savage might have collected, let's say Grim the Savage had this much fame when I accused Bob, then we would count 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 cards, and I would get 4 of them. And Grim the Savage will be only left with 4. Now, since you cannot be accused of being the same pirate multiple times, you can only be stolen from once. So if you think you know a player is a certain pirate, you want to do it as you want to save it off till they have more treasure, but at the same time another player might beat you to the punch. Now, how do you get these treasure? Now, this card here, Kraken, damages the ships in 4, 6, and 8. But the next one here, Neptune's Favor, if they are undamaged, they will each get 1 fame. The ships in positions 1, 3, and 5. So when we resolve that one, I simply will draw from the top of the pile and add 1 fame to positions 1, positions 3, and position 5. The next card here is English Loot. All the English ships will steal 1 from in front of them. Here, the ships in 9, 7, and 5 are damaged. But most of the cards will give treasure or fame to ships that are in different positions. Here you can see the ships in 1, 2, and 3 will get fame. Here in 1, 3, and 5. Here 9, 7, and 5 are damaged. As you can see, mostly if you're in the front, you're going to get fame, and if you're in the back, you're going to get damage. Although that's not always the case. Different cards will do different things as you draw them. The game is over when the deck is gone through, and that will be shorter than you think, because remember, you're drawing cards from this deck every time fame is given out, so not every card will be played. At that point, players will reveal their pirates, and they will take all the fame on the ship of their pirates, plus any fame that they've stolen from another player by accusing them, and whoever has the most fame is the winner. Now, the game has 2 advanced options, and I highly recommend playing with both those options. One of those options is, when you are using the adventure cards here, is to place 3 cards here so that you can see the next 2 cards that are coming. So it kind of gives you some forward planning when you take your turn. Couple that with the movement cards. Instead of having 3 cards here for everybody, give everyone a hand of 3 movement cards, and that allows them to play one of these cards and draw, and again, make plans based on their card. I really enjoyed this game. Now, this game has many similarities to a game from GMT a while ago, Formula Motor Racing, in which you had the little cars that were on the board and you moved them around and tried to get your cars into the best positions. Except everybody knew what car you were, although you could play with a very fun variant in which your color was secret. That makes this game fun, is the fact that everything is secret. Now, as I said in my overview, you need to play with both of those, both of the extended rules or the variants. To me, they're both necessary. Keep the handful of movement cards and have 3 events coming up so you can see what's happening. This game is a lot of fun. I like the fact that you can accuse somebody, and if you're incorrect, life goes on. Except you're using your whole turn to do that when you might want to move ships on the board. And when do you heal your ships? Do you wait till there's a bunch of other ships that are damaged so that, I'm just fixing all of them? It can be easy because you're watching everyone and what they do, and there's that one moment they do something and you say, that's it. I know they're that character. I played a card and I damaged one of my own ships, which was fantastic because nobody suspected me of being that ship that I had just damaged. The problem was, well, now the ship was damaged and I had to undamage it if I was going to collect any more fame, and how was I supposed to do that without anybody noticing? So there's a lot of back and forth. Sure, there's a lot of luck, and with more players, the ships move around even more, erratically and things, but it's fun, and it's one that I like a lot. In fact, I might keep this over Formula Motor Racing because it has more going on in it, although they're both fun little games. But this is certainly one I'm going to keep. I don't like the box. I don't like how... I'm going to have to find some other box for it. I do not like these boxes where you have to open them and then slide out this, and then the cards are here in the middle. That's just... Yes, I know they did that for packaging on the shelf, but it's a real pain in the neck to work with this box. Getting it back... I hate this box. But I do like the game. The game has a bit of a piratey flair to it as ships are getting shot at and stuff. But the pirate theme could be replaced with a space theme, with a trading in the Mediterranean theme, with all kinds of different themes, and you would get away with it because it's not that big of a deal. But the pirate theme does work, and it's fun. Very light game. We're talking 30, 40 minutes maximum. A good game, and I enjoyed it.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find the latest board game news at Dicetowernews.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Fun Again Games, the world's best game source. Fun Again Games has over 5,000 games available. Check them out at funagain.com.